Alrighty. Okay, folks, welcome to Immortal Truth. This is going to be the first live talk on Gnosis. This is kind of like a Gnosis podcast. Here with my boy. And we were egging each other on. I think we're going to dive into the true will, my friends. We're going to dive into the nature of THEURGY. We're going to talk about some Hermetics, Union, Colburn Bible, as well as many other connections here. This would be quite awesome. And as I let a few people join me, I don't know if anybody will at this hour, I'm going to spit some amazing poetry. I'm going to start off with We Are Kings, It Is Clear to Me. It's a 1-minute thing. But then we're going to dive into the God Gnosis, the knowledge of God, wisdom, understanding, and the truth of a lot of the ancient wisdom. And we're doing this over here at Immortal Truth and not Reality Files because we just might go deep. I know, I just want to try it out, but hell yeah. Brother, have you heard this poem I wrote, We Are Kings, It Is Clear to Me?
I have not.
It's super dank. Maybe we gotta switch up the beat for this one. Ooh, someone's joining me at this hour. Hell yeah. My friends, whoever just joined me, we're about to dive into the knowledge of self, the knowledge of God, and THEURGY. It's gonna be real intense. We might even get into the twice born mysteries. But we're gonna start off with a little bit of poetry because we are kings. Yeah. Okay. Let's be don't match it, but the truth of our reality and living free of fallacy, a path to pure philosophy, to find a life that's real to me. It's the alchemy of inner peace and my master keys to mysteries, unlocking higher frequencies and not stopping till we're free to be, dancing in divinity. A quest, no rest, our constant test. To see if we are meant to be the masters of our destiny. A people born to slavery, blind to all the fakery. A life of lies, a disguise they fail to see. Knocking at the door of death happily. They bow and scrape the knee to powers that be, the principalities, an ancient enemy. Break the bonds that bind thee. Those with eyes to see, please take the lead. We are kings. It is clear to me. The leaders of humanity, as foretold in ancient prophecy. Ooh, we are kings. It is clear to me. Okay, all my friends tuning in on Immortal Truth. Let's dive into it. Without further ado. Yeah. Yeah. About to dial in. Right on that gnosis, it's time to fucking focus and illuminate the mind. Yeah, we seeking out divine fucking truth. Yeah, live as that proof that you wanna see. Yeah, sitting on the mountaintop, drinking from the fountain of youth. Yeah, drop that mic, not in fucking spite. Nah, we do it with love. We tapping into the above. Yeah, talking about that twice born mystery. Truth we are sworn, that is history. Put it right behind me, diving right in. Little bit of Hermetics, gonna go in. Take a fucking swim in the gnosis. It's time to fucking focus, unfurl that lotus inside your mind. That is the mind, the divine, where we unfold that one of a kind, that seed in the night, that seed. Yeah, it's winning that fight. It's gonna rise up with the might of the true will. Yeah, it's gonna be like an oil spill. Oh, fucking over. Here we go. Let's do this thing. Hit a little bit free as I got it warmed up. Let's dive in. Okay, Andrew. My guy here. My friends, we're going to talk about theurgy right now. And theurgy, real quick, if I can pull that up. Okay, so theurgy, my friends, it describes the practice of rituals as seen as magical in nature, performed with the intention of invoking gnosis or uniting with the divine and perfecting oneself. This is theurgy, my friends. This is beyond theology. This is beyond philosophy. This is theurgy. This is what Hermes taught. This is what most magical schools and Hermetic and all Hermetic philosophy is about. It is about union with the divine. And in fact, my friends, as we're going to get into and you're going to see here, yoga means union, right? Religion, in fact, the ancient meaning of religion is union. Religion and yoga both mean union with the divine, right? And this is really important because we're about to get into the true will. My friends, not my will be done, but thine will be done. We are talking about kingdom come. And that kingdom comes in your mind, my friends. Where are you dwelling, right? And Hermes was known as the thrice greatest, holding all three parts of wisdom. He had gnosis, my friends, which is a truth-revealing sight. Gnosis is that of a spiritual understanding, right? And a gaze or a vision that truly pierces deeper into the realities because he is a true philosopher. In the Hermetica, it goes deep into true philosophy and the nature of true philosophy and the death in the modern day. Hermes was the divine intelligencer, right? He combined intelligence with intellectual intuition, my friends. Intellectual intuition, or gnosis. That's the Buddha's version of it. And all of this is about the knowledge of God. Why the knowledge of God? Because the knowledge of God, my friends, is what saves you. This is a quote from Hermes, from Acephalus, I think. To know God is to have overcome death and the power of death. To know the origin and the secret of delusion is to transcend delusion. Ooh, my friends, this is talking about getting to the source, the prime mover. What is the origination of the causes, of the effects, my friends? And when you can see with the truth-revealing gaze, because you have come to know thyself, therefore having come to know God, who dwells within thyself, right? You have gained a truth-revealing sight which pierces and transcends delusion. A little bit more on the knowledge of God before we dive into it here. The knowledge of God is religion. That's a quote from Hermes. That's pretty damn good. Here we go. Hermes affirms that those who know God are preserved from assaults of the evil one, and are not subject to destiny. The knowledge of God is religion. From divine into institutions. The knowledge of God is religion. Religion meaning union, right? So the knowledge of God is that of union with God. And in fact, in Proverbs chapter 2:5, it talks about wisdom begins with the fear of the Lord, right? And ever seek to attain and stand in the fear of the Lord and the knowledge of God. The Bible talks about it. In fact, the first 9 Proverbs are about the knowledge of God. Get some water. So, let's do this thing. We're talking about the God-man right now, my friends, because the God-man is that which is aligned and united with the truth of his own nature and the Father above. The Father in you and you in the Father. This, my friends, is the sun state. Let's break this down, because the Emerald Tablets of Thoth are in fact a great I guess, poetic description of the sun state. The entire Emerald Tablets of Thoth is about keeping one's eyes ever turned towards the light and seeking to blend thyself with the great essence, to become formless and a portal for the ether to pour through you, to regain your heritage or your inheritance as a space-born divine being, right? And that is one that is freed from the fetters that bind thee. And the fetters that bind thee is matter, my friends. So this is immortal truth, and we go real deep here. And there's a reason that Gnosis is not mainstream, and that Gnosis is in fact was kept secret. And that's because Gnosis is basically flipping the script. It's inverting everything that seems to be true to the ignorant eye, right? Gnosis is basically describing matter as the beast, as the demiurge, which is basically took your spaceborn star being self, right, and chained it down to matter. And then I guess we became lost in the addiction of lust and sensual pleasures, right, the five senses. And union with God is attained through transcendence of the five senses. It is to tap into the higher senses and, in fact, form the etheric senses, right? So that you can be in communion and awareness of that, of the divine and higher worlds, my friends. Go check out Rudolf Steiner on the Christ Impulse. You can go check out my Jesus and Hermetic video, which also dives deep into that. But let's go into the sun state right here. Let's take another deep breath through our solar plexus and really activate that solar-centric being and become one with that sun breath, my friends, the subtle breath, right? Okay. To those who unite their spirit with mine, and to those who are in harmony but not united, I increase that which they have and provide what they lack. My friends, this is the Colburn Bible, GLN 1539. And GLN 15 in the Colburn Bible is about the Supreme Spirit and is, in fact, perhaps the most important chapter in the Colburn, although I haven't touched on it yet. The most important for that, it directs your vision towards the spiritual horizon and brings you closer to communion with the Supreme Spirit. The Supreme Spirit being the Great Spirit, or the essence, the permeating field through all things, the ether, my friends, right? This is the God you are coming to unite with, and in fact, let him reside in you and you within the Father, my friends, because the Father needs you and you need the Father, my friends. It is time to lose ourselves in the mind of the divine, and there we will find the truth of our time, my friends. I turn a like countenance to all men. My love for them remains constant, but those who join me in devotion to my cause are truly in me, and I am in them. My friends, this is a direct reference and, I guess, parallelism to Jesus in the Gospel of Thomas and perhaps many other places throughout the Gospels in the Bible where it talks about Jesus being one with the Father. And in fact, Jesus resided in the Father, and the Father in him. They were one and the same, but not quite. And this, my friends, a great symbol to, I guess, wrap our minds around this, would be that of the symbol of the sun. And the symbol of the sun, my friends, right here, is the great symbol, my friends. Heed the symbol, the sun. It is the symbol of that which rests at the end of thy road. That is a quote from the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, my friends. It is the great symbol that symbolizes the perfected state of man, the perfected initiate, because the sun is essentially right here. Let's dive in. So, imagine just a field of ether, right? It's a field of ether all around here. And the sun was formed and created there. And the sun is essentially a vehicle of transmutation. It is a vehicle to I guess, draw in the ether from the above, from the below, from all around it, right, into the core of transmutation. This is the in-breath, right, the inhale, the inspiration, right, as it draws in the ether. And you have the same spark. You have the same seed of life that the sun once held. The sun has blossomed into the full flower of life because it has made the two into one. It has made the outside like the inside and the inside like the outside, therefore combining both the power of the above and the below. This is the pattern, my friends. This is the operation of the sun. If you ever read the Emerald Tablet of Hermes, the Emerald Tablet of Hermes is essentially a description of the operation of the sun and how that takes place within you. Okay? And it takes place within you, just real quick here. I should make a full video on this. Is the in-breath draws in ether, right, into the center of transmutation, where it is transmuted. And then the exhale, the out-breath, right, basically allows that which is inside to move. It allows that which is to move, right? And I forget the quote from the Tao Te Ching, but whatever. And it expresses it outward. And then it makes a two into one. It makes the in-breath and the out-breath simultaneously. It is you dwelling in the mind of God and God dwelling in the heart of man, right? And you acting in singular devotion with that. You acting on the true will, my friends. The sun is the symbol of the true will. In fact, the sun in Kabbalah is the sixth Sephirah, which is Tiferet. My mouth is too dry. The sixth sphere in Kabbalah is Tiferet. And that is the Christic willpower, my friends. In Gnosticism, that would be the thalamic willpower, my friends. The sixth sphere, because the sixth sphere, my friends, is the sun, A. And it is also the sun in the sense that it is between the Father, Kether, which is pouring its essence through Doth, which is Gnosis, right? Which is divine knowledge. And it's pouring its essence through Doth, right? And it's entering the sixth sphere where all of it is held. And the mother is coming up through Yesod, through the ninth sphere, right? And it goes through those gates, right? And it all comes together in the sixth, in the sun, right? The Holy Spirit and the Father come together at the sun. And that is where you hold your Christic willpower. That is where you can move with singular action. And that is the sun state. So that description I just gave you, my friends, although very brief and covering many things that I could go deeper onto, just hold that in mind, because the sun state is essential for understanding what it means by the Father in you and you in the Father. And furthermore, it is essential for wrapping our mind around the importance of the true will. And the true will being that of not my will be done, but thine will be done. My friends, we cannot pull back two bows and shoot two arrows, and we cannot serve two masters, my friends. We are either serving the master of the flesh, whether it be like Mammon in the Bible, or I guess like your ego monkey mind that's always chattering up here, telling you, oh, I think I should do this. Oh, I kind of want to do this. Oh, I'm opposed to doing these things. Oh, you know, this is comfortable. That's unfamiliar. I'm going to go this way. Nah, my friends. The way is to transmute dual thought so that we can exist in divine union with the will of the above, and to be aware, to be so sensitive of the subtle energies, the subtle force, the subtle inclinations, right, in the heart, to be able to move and act on that inspiration and let it grow and build, right? What was I going to say there? That notification threw me off. This is an important part. And to become aware of this, my friends, it is through prayer and meditation. Meditation being that of the act of centering thyself and I guess letting the mind and the subconscious mind cleanse and clear itself. Cleanse and clear itself through just allowing what all this, like the cesspool sitting in the dark sleeping mind, right, to express itself. Let it be known and let it exhale, essentially, right? And then prayer. Prayer is the act of, I guess, elevating your gaze to that of the spiritual horizon, and furthermore seeking the divine guidance from above, to seek the kingdom of God right here and right now, my friends. The act of prayer is not to ask for petty desires, but in fact to seek clarity on the true desire, on what is truly meant for you to do, my friends. And just like James, or maybe it was Luke in the Bible, he talked about Jesus having performed all that he came here to do in fullness, in totality, right? And then he could rest easy in the embrace of God. My friends, we are here to serve. We are here for a purpose. And to find that purpose, it is to release this monkey mind that's going to lead you on a fucking rat race through hell of chaos and drive you deeper into darkness, right? Because that mind didn't come from above. Therefore, it carries no divine order, my friends. Divine order comes from the very Most High. And we must be a vehicle. We must be in alignment with that to let it flow through us. And that comes through prayer and meditation, my friends. Prayer and meditation. So I guess that's enough of an intro. I just want to go ahead and go forward with this talk on Hermeticism. And we're just going to be reading from the most profound book of the Kolbrin. And all of that was just a precursor so that we can further grasp and seek to understand the nature of these great mysteries, the great mysteries of union with God, the great mysteries of the God-man, and the great mysteries of your own divinity, and bringing that forth, right? And I know nothing of it beyond what I have intuited, beyond like my experience with it, but I believe it in my heart so damn firmly that man is far greater than he who we see out here, my friends. He who is within you is far greater than he who we see out here. So let's learn how to bring him forth. He who walks with me, serving my cause, shall not perish. So join your spirit with mine, giving me your confidence and trust. And thus, united in harmonious relationship, you will come to know the supreme goal. You will come to know the plan, my friends, and your part within it. Men say they cannot know me through their senses, and that is true. We touched on that. For I am above and beyond the reach of finite senses. The senses of man are not meant to be the means for experiencing me. They are for experiencing the material spheres, my friends, those in which we are in bondage to. They are also limiting, shutting out far more than they reveal. Welcome to the Maya, my friends. Welcome to the grand illusion, the grand stage of earth. Yet men have within them a greater sense, which can know me, but it lies dormant in the mass of men. I am the God of men's heart, the consciousness of all living things. I am the God of consciousness and the listener in the silences, my friends. God is in the pregnant silence, my friends. Seek God in the stillness, right? And this is why coming back to meditation is so important, because when our minds are easily thrown left and right and we are in constant reaction to circumstance, to emotions, to thought, how can we create any space for the true will or the divine sense to enter us and, plant its seed in fertile soil if the Garden of Eden is overrun by demons? Think about it. Ooh, that's the last. We'll finish up with that one. Upon you, there is a great destiny. May you reach out and grasp that which your heart desires. My friends, God desires for you what is best for you. And you, the whole spiritual evolution and aim of the soul is to seek union in aspiration with the Most High. That's like phase 1 of spiritual maturity, is to aspire to be the man that God wants you to. When your aspirations for yourself and God's aspirations for you are one and the same, you literally cannot fail as long as you move in upright action. And having attained it, use it to deliver all men from the darkness of ignorance. Go forth like the sun, who throws its rays down like a net over the land to enlighten it. That's not the one I wanted to read. Ooh, here we go. Finally found it. The path to godliness, my friends. Let's talk about true theurgy, union with the divine. It's funny. I always see synchronistic numbers whenever I'm reading a sacred text, and it's going to be a profound part. It's always something synchronistic, like 1515, which is 6, which is Tiphareth, which is literally the like Tiferet. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, the sixth Sephirot in Kabbalah, listed twice, right? So this is about true will. This is about God willpower. This is about the will of the Most High. Kingdom come, thy will be done. The path of godliness is not an easy one to follow, for it is beset with pitfalls of perplexity and doubt. Well, I guess that's actually just the path of spirituality in a sense, because we're all gaining and clarifying our roles, our purpose, and certainty in our own power, my friends. It's what we all struggle with. Any limitations that we suffer from is in fact because we lack the conviction in the truth of our nature and the truth of our power. And the whole path is, in fact, getting us more tapped into and attuned to that which we are here to do and that which is within us. Because when man has come to know himself, he will come to know that, I guess, all things, my friends, because you are a reflection of the universe itself. Then, too, there is not one but several paths, and few among men know which is best. There are many false paths leading nowhere. There are paths that lead to the wilderness of delusion, and some which lead to destruction. Yet among many beliefs springing up from time to time in various lands, there are always those which lead to the same truth, to the one fountainhead of light, my friends. This is why I love Gnosticism, the Cobran Bible, Hermetics, Buddha's teaching in his eightfold path of upright action and upright living, I guess. And I love Christ's teachings, especially his lost gospels. I love all of it, my friends. I love Western philosophy too. I love Carl Jung, Manly P. Hall, all of it. And it is because I guess I seek with a sense of innate truth within me. And I encourage, we all have this, right? And when we find these gems from very diverse sources, right, that are all leading us to the same fountainhead of light, which the Cobran refers to here, we start to piece these together. And I think it's absolutely essential in this modern day to, in fact, not surrender oneself to a single path, but in fact draw from all of them and let the compass of your heart guide you through it. Though some and many devious yada yada yada. Here we go. Man is the heir to divinity, and the road to divinity is spirituality. Man cannot become spiritual except through his own efforts and striving, my friends. If you ain't striving, you're dying. And if you don't strive, you gotta find your why. Because, my friends, this world is full of lies, and we must reside in the truth that's inside. He cannot achieve it by being led by the hand or through fear of punishment, nor by greed through anticipation of reward. My friends, the true spiritual goal does not come through seeking the gold or the power that comes with union with the Spirit, my friends. It is not found by drinking of the bubbling wellspring that Jesus brought forth, right? He told his disciples the same shit that the Cobran Bible is telling us right here. And it is not brought forth through fear of punishment, right? Of not making it so that, there's some kind of spiritual punishment or de-evolution that takes place. No, my friends. He who enters into his heritage of divinity will be no weakling. He will have trodden a hard and stony path, my friends. This is so reflective of one of my favorite themes within the Cobran Bible, and that is a deeply clarifying view on suffering, trials, and tribulations. And it's this view that trials and tribulations are the lot of man, right? I remember one part, it's if you have gone 6 months without many trials or tribulations, that is enough for a lifetime. The trials and suffering of the soul is what in fact invokes the noblest qualities and lands man at those, virtues that are the rock bed for his evolution and growth. Hell yeah, no thing 111. I didn't even know I could do the comments right here. That's kind of cool. Thanks for dropping that comment. Let's talk about the spiritual sense, my friends. I do not manifest through mortal senses, for those are bound by earthly limitations. I manifest through the great sense, which is of the spirit, the sense of the soul. Very poetic. This whole entire chapter, GLN 15, is so poetic and so beautiful, my friends. Highly encourage you to go listen to this one. If you just type in Reality Files Colburn, I have a whole playlist of my favorite chapters of the Colburn Bible up to the point where they have been published, and GLN 15 is definitely in there. The radiant living heart pulsating with love can never be known to man as man, but when man becomes more than man, he may take his first glimpse behind the veil. I am the inspiration and the goal of man. My friends, in GLN 15, the Supreme Spirit refers to himself as the God of inspiration and the God of love, and furthermore as the goal of man. He is the God of inspiration, my friends. Inspiration is that of the spiritual power being channeled from above. To act on inspiration is to act on the highest power that man can wield. My friends, inspiration, inspiration, in spirit animation, my friends. You trying to walk in spirit? You trying to walk with the might of God? Start acting on inspiration and make sure you exhale that shit, meaning you bring it forth, whatever you were inspired to do. Because when you inhale with inspiration and exhale with action and let your works die, because that's what happens after you've created the form, right? When you have done this, my friends, you are in fact creating, you are strengthening the muscle of inspiration. You are strengthening your capacity to hold the spirit and bring forth its works. And furthermore, when you inhale and exhale with the spirit of animation, of inspiration, my friends, when you inhale and exhale that shit, you are given more power. Power is heaped upon you because you are acting with the will of God. And when you bring forth the will of God here, right, he gives you more. He gives you more power, more energy, because he sees you as a vessel, or I guess this is like my way of understanding it. You are proving yourself as a vessel worthy and furthermore capable. You are refining your ability to articulate his expression. Finally found exactly where I wanted to start this whole talk. But to the person who made it this far, love you much. We're about to blow some minds, you know. We might even break the space-time with the gnosis we about to find. Men spurn their birthright, not through wickedness alone, but through their weakness and love of pleasure. Therefore, the love once offered cannot now be displayed in all of its glory. It cannot be revealed in its beauty. It must now be leavened with severity and chastisement. My friends, if you're being chastised a lot in your life, if you seem like you have a lot of obstacles going on, just know that God loves you. Because if your father didn't care about you, why the hell would he discipline you? Think about it. This is why all the evil and dark rulers, the forces of endarkment controlling this world right now, are still fucking in power, and they're not being just like fucking bitch slap silly, is because they're so far from the fire. They are so far from the spirit of truth and the spirit of God, right? That it has no time for them. They will dissolve because they live in illusion. They think and believe and act within illusion, and therefore they are an illusion. My friends, if you are near the flame, if you are near the fire, you best believe that you're going to be getting burned as you fly into the face of the sun, my friends. And that is what we're doing out here, especially in this modern day, as energy and everything is picking up on Earth. We are flying into the face of the sun. So only carry with you that which is true, that which is true to the core, that which is true to the truth of your own nature, my friends, because that shit is imperishable. Build your treasures up in the kingdom of God, or in the heaven, right? The heaven being that which is imperishable and permanent. That being, like intellect, gnosis, wisdom, love, compassion, and virtue of the soul, my friends. Divinity of itself is not a created thing and cannot be bestowed as a gift. It comes through the crown of achievement. Whoa. Divinity itself is not a created thing, and it cannot be bestowed as a gift. My friends, Hercules, that motherfucker wasn't born of a god, although we are all born of gods, right? He claimed his own divinity, my friends. He rose through the ranks, right? And broke through the threshold that binds thee to the earth, right? And took his place on a seat on the Mount Olympus, right? And I guess gathered his inheritance, which we have all stored up. Divinity is the crown of achievement. I, the Almighty God, who by taking thought can create 10,000 worlds, says this. The Almighty God says that he cannot create divinity. It cannot be bestowed as a gift. It must be earned as a crown of achievement. Once I, your God, was not apart from man. So God created man to become God's brother. That's what I'm hearing. Now I am veiled from his sight, but not because I have willed it to be so. This is the Supreme Spirit saying he is veiled from man's sight, and it's not because he has willed it, but because man has chosen to bring this about. The barrier between us grows ever more dense as man grows more dense, and man wantonously spurns his birthright. Henceforth it may be penetrated only by long and arduous preparations, and even then those who would do so must know the key. I come to you not because of the preparations, but because your God is ever ready to incline towards men. Though there is a barrier between us, it is not impervious to the sincere prayers of the heart, my friends. Whoa. The power of prayer. I was so, polarized against prayer for so long because of the religious connotation to it, until I literally had such powerful, almost religious experiences within prayer, within asking for the grace of the divine, within asking for redemption, for healing. Like just recently, I had written 3 pages of prayers asking for clarity of vision, clarity of what I'm here to do, clarity on my true will and what I should bring forth, of all the things I could do, what is meant for me to do. Because in this world, my friends, it is so uncertain and it is so chaotic. I always find myself getting lost. And this happens for a fucking reason. And that reason is because we can get lost so quickly, we must always re-tap in to the prayer of the genuine, meaningful, heartfelt prayer of the heart, my friends. And this is whatever brings man's spirit closer to the communion with the Most High and that of his true self. And the prayers of the pure heart, my friends, can shatter all barriers. The prayers of the pure heart are transcendent in nature. Okay, getting into the absolute gems, as we're at 77% on this phone. You know what time it is, my friends. It's time to dive. Ready for this one? This earthly life, which I have given to you, should not be viewed in its minute aspect, but in the light of infinitude. This one's so hard. My friends, because life This life, this earthly mortal life which we have subscribed to, is but a blink. It is but a blink. And to be a passerby must be a constant mantra. It must be a constant affirmation in one's mind. And I guess it's almost a byproduct of a mind that is still and in harmony with the kingdom of God. And harmony with the kingdom of God being that of the mind that ever dwells in the mind of God, in the being that ever loses itself within the recesses of heaven, within the being of God itself, and lets God thrum in his heart. Therefore, when that happens, time no longer exists. You are existing within the infinity, and the infinity is moving within you. You had made the 2 into 1, and the sun state has been attained. But it's all in degrees, my friends, like everything else. And if you view this life in a minute aspect, fuck, you're going to be just, it's going to be a tough one, my friends. And that's a lesson you really just got to learn and keep learning, is when we take a small-sighted view, we take things personally, our ego gets hurt, we are more easily moved by lusts and passions, and furthermore, our lowest nature takes firm control. Because in the minute aspect of life, my friends, the higher nature cannot act, because the higher nature, to do those things which are truly good for you, like exercising, right? Like bringing forth what is within you, like making this video, like writing that book, like helping your mom, right? Like doing like those virtuous things that you probably should do and are going to lead you to that greater place of more abundance and more harmony and more alignment in life. All of those things, are usually hard and take willpower in the present moment and are not instantly gratified. There's no instant gratification. But the gratification comes like 10,000-fold, my friends, as you tap into your own power and your own inner resources and realize what and who you are. But viewing things from the minute perspective will firmly trap you in the embrace of the lowest self, because the minute perspective can only hold gratifications within the minute perspective, if that all makes sense. You catch that? Mm-hmm. All the suffering and disillusionment, the futility and the forlorn hopes and wasted efforts, the oppression and injustices are not without purpose. That purpose is beyond anything man can understand and is infinitely greater than his conception can grasp. I would suggest his earthly perception can grasp. But I mean, even in my own life, opening my eyes under the, the lens of compassionate understanding has truly revealed a lot about my own suffering and my own journey here, and the fact that suffering was divinely inspired. My friends, it's funny, because to be in alignment with your true path and the path that is set before you is often to be out of alignment. To be and act virtuously is sometimes to act, immorally. Because this is where we learn, my friends, and this is where the hard lessons are taught. Pain is the only teacher. Pain is the only teacher. How could you know and hold steadfast in truth if you did not have lies that hurt? How could you hold steadfast, right, in virtue if you have not tried all the other paths that only led you to a darker, more dense place, right? The spirit of man, the truly awakened man, alone amongst men, can have any insight into life's end and goal. Only the true awakened. The spirit of man has the potential for doing all things. It can even rise above earthly limitations. The awakened soul can do whatsoever it wills. Man makes the environment for his own development, and it is now, so countless wills from the past have fashioned it. The awakened soul can do whatever it wills. Breaking that down. The awakened soul can do whatever it wills because it moves with the will that comes from above. It can do whatsoever it wills because that will is coming from above, and it is moving with far more power than this earthly limited body can muster, my friends. When you move on the true will, which the awakened soul would do because it is completely aware of its true nature, true self, and union with that of the divine. Its will is transcendent, my friends. Man with a sufficiently great cause is unconquerable. That is from the Book of Wisdom in the Kolbrin Bible, my friends. Really dwell upon that. I was just thinking in my own life, just a quick example of that, is me and my buddy Sage are beginning to put together this epic event / retreat for masculine healing and rewilding yourself. And it's going to be this epic 3-day thing. And I've been struggling with, I guess like looking through the gates to my mastery, but never having the keys to enter. No matter how much, intention, affirmation, work and will and aspiration I hold for that door to open, it just won't, because the resources within myself won't unlock it. Man needs a sufficiently great cause, and he needs something to invoke that willpower out of him, to bring forth that which is so much greater than he could imagine, right? It's getting a little off track. I just want to finish up the Kolbrin right here. See if there's any comments. So long. All right. The soul becomes active in matter. That with which you hear, taste, smell, feel is the soul. Ooh, this is really good, my friends, to understand the nature of what the soul is. I always kind of think of the soul as the essence that lies behind the blood, right? If the body is right here, boom, boom, right? That's the physical body. The soul would be like, the shadow that you fill into the body, if that makes sense, right? It is a thing that moves within the body. It is a life that is animating material. And furthermore, my friends, it is the soul that tastes. It is the soul that smells. It is the soul that hears, feels, all the senses. It is the soul that receives that input, my friends. It is the conscious thing. And physically, the ear of a dead man is still in perfect condition for hearing, but the hearer and the interpreter has gone. The eyes of the corpse are not blinded, but that which has operated them no longer is there. So, and this was kind of a precursor leading into the nature of the soul and awakening the soul, which I did just actually touch on pretty well in my last video over on Reality Files, which is called The Sons of Fire, the Kolbrin Bible, Great Path of the True Way. Go check that out. But so long as the soul looks outward, only into the deceptive, earth-based realm. I have no idea what it said beyond there. I'm just going to take a quote from Carl Jung. He who looks outside dreams. He who looks within awakens, my friends. Seek to understand and know what the soul is within you. Seek to understand and merge your identity, your I am, with the I am of truth, with the I am of the spaceborne, fully realized and awakened self that is above these earthly limitations and this earthly flesh suit, my friends. As we learn to discern and separate that which is truly us from that which is not us, we, awaken the soul and illuminate our spiritual gifts and powers, and furthermore, get closer to that communion with the hidden God. Okay, I'm just going to wrap this up with perhaps a little bit of dialogue from Thelema and the True Will. Do as thou wilt should be the whole of the law. So this has been it has fallen from grace and has been defamed by, that's what was kind of intended to happen. And although I don't agree quite with Aleister Crowley, his true will was spot on, and it wasn't quite his, my friends. Universal truth and ancient knowledge goes way back. Way back, my friends. There's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun that hasn't been done. So it's not what you do, it's how it's done. And his dialogues on the true will are dead on. And this is actually taking from Buddha's Eightfold Path of Upright Action, which is essentially all about true will. Because the first law, or the first principle in his Eightfold Path, is upright vision, upright view, to see through the eyes of wisdom. When you can see through the eyes of wisdom, and you see all things in truth, and you name all things in truth, quoting Marcus Aurelius and Jesus right there. When you can do that, my friends, you have upright view. And when you have upright view, you see that which should be done for you, because you're seeing through the eyes of the heart, and you're seeing through the veil of truth. And the true will make itself known to the mind that is still and ready to receive that pregnant silence and let that seed enter and be planted, right? Anything beyond the true path, your true will always be met with resistance and serve to lead you deeper into chaos and disorder, my friends. These are my words. This is so damn true. If you are not doing that which is for you to do, then you are doing that which is not for you to do. So it is draining you of energy, so you're not being energetically responsible. Furthermore, you are acting and serving the master of the flesh, or the master of the egoic monkey mind up here, right? And so when you are doing things that is not meant for you to do, or is not from your highest self, not from the true will, you are in fact digging yourself deeper into the embrace and the ensnare of, I guess, the lower God, if that makes sense, right? And that's going to always lead you deeper into chaos and disorder, because you are not channeling divine order from the true will. You're not acting on true inspiration from above, but you are trying to, with this narrow, confused, clouded, completely uncertain, and tiny perspective that we hold here on earth, you are trying to map out your course through the earth. Yet you are not coming from a foundation of truth, nor any observation of why the fuck we are here. And this is how everyone is moving, my friends. And this is why their spirit withers, because they are not using the gifts that they have been given. They are not serving that which they are here to serve. The true order can only result from will and action in accordance with the laws of nature. My friends, the archetype of the king, the first role of the archetype of the king is to establish order, divine order within his domain. Like the Pharaoh in ancient Egypt. I mean the true Pharaoh, the divine kingship, way back when, like 20,000 years ago, right? They established order from above so that the kingdom of heaven existed here on earth, right? It was a mere image. Read the vision of Hermes, or the lament of Hermes. So right here, I guess I'm just saying, be animated by love, be animated by truth, and be animated by the true will, my friends. The champion of the great cause, the highest calling man can serve is that which is divinely designed for him and him alone. My friends, when you are doing what is not for you to do, you are not only taking away what is for someone else to do, you are draining yourself of energy and choosing a downward path, one that leads you down. The great path of the true way is attained by those who walk in the light of truth of themselves, and ever seek the kingdom within and the kingdom without. When you have completely integrated the true will and your will, when your ego has become a perfect, I guess, expression or means for spirit to flow through you, when your ego and your soul have become unified in one because you have integrated and refined your personality and ego, right? Then you begin to move in singular oneness. When you move in singular oneness because you have transmuted and erased dual thought from your mind, when you no longer see evil, but ever keep your eyes turned towards the light and move with the grace of God, then you come to speak and God's voice is heard. And when you come to act, God's hand is felt, because you have become one and singular with the will of the divine. And this is how God's presence is expressed here on earth. The spirit can be expressed here on earth through artwork, through upright action, through upright creation, and living with an open heart, an open compass to guide thy way, right? But the true power of God is funneled, is channeled here when the Christic willpower is evoked and you stand in the center, holding, the sword of Excalibur right up the Kether, if that makes sense. So let's wrap this up, my friends. The true will, theurgy, the knowledge of God, Gnosis. Let's talk about God's prophets. I shall seek the man who is himself ever seeking. I think all you are on that boat. Who seeks to unravel the riddle of life and whose determination is strong. He who detests wickedness and delights in good. Whose heart and inner vision reaches out for enlightenment. His tranquility is unshaken, even under stress. And with his heart, he will have a haven of peace beyond the reach of excitement and anger. Ooh. My friends, this is like the Tao. So hard right here. Be a stone. Be a damn tree rooted deep in the midst of the hurricane, my friends. Do not be waved and swayed this way and that way with the spirit of the day, my friends. People will be coming at you with approval. Who cares? You seek your own approval. You seek to do and act uprightly and in wholeness, right? When they come at you and you are rejected, the cornerstone's always rejected, but let your peace overwhelm them, my friends. Go check out Reality Files. Just type in Reality Files peace. I have a few videos on it, but let your peace overwhelm them. You want to know where true power comes from? True power comes from peace, alignment, and presence. All those three things, it's like a threefold nature. Be at peace. Tranquility of mind, tranquility of body is the first spiritual law, my friends. Go check out that video, literally called The First Spiritual Law. Anyways, let's move on and wrap this up. He will be a lover of wisdom and a seeker of truth. So a philosopher and the ever-present seeker. He who is wise and he who knows what to do. Who remains calm when others lose their self-control, and who is clear-headed under stress, and who enjoys the challenge of the task, that man is mine. I would even add, has the courage to stand when others remain still, right? And remains calm when others panic. He who labors uncomplainingly, who disdains to satisfy deforming lusts, whose spirit remains the same under the temptations of honors or pleasures of disgrace. He who is free from the shackles of unworthy earthly attachments, who retains his balance under praise or blame, who can shoulder his own burdens, whose spirit is calm, silent, and strong under all circumstance, he who can bear the responsibilities of life and the obligations of love, that man is mine. I am the God of inspiration. I am the God of love. My friends, tap into your own gratitude, tap into the compass of your heart, and act with the fuel of inspiration. When you act on the in-spirit animation, you act with the grace of God, and that man is his. Hell yeah, my friends. This was the first live Gnosis talk on the true nature of union or religion or yoga. This is all about Gnosis, my friends, and the knowledge of God, the union and the knowledge of self. This is theurgy, talking about the true will, talking about the Colburn Bible, your immortal nature, the God self within, and bringing forth what is within you. We missed a whole bunch, but that was just the first one. Let me know what you liked if you're watching this later. Hell yeah. It's damn late. I'm real tired.
That was awesome.
Hell yeah. You enjoyed that one. We went really deep. If you like what I do here, my friends, please consider supporting me on PayPal or on Patreon. On Patreon, I have a lot of exclusives in this master archive I'm putting together, and I will be continuing to add content there. Furthermore, there's a link in the description for my Creative Master Keys exclusive video series for all the creators and entrepreneurs out there. If you are a creator or feeling blocked, feeling the resistance, or seeking to elevate your creative potential to the next level, go check out this free video series, right? Link in the description, completely free. Just drop your email in there, and that is only for letting you know when my full-on courses, packages, and retreats are available to sign up for. Anyways, thank you for watching. This is Immortal Truth. We keep it real. The truth that was, that is, and that will be. Let's align with that shit. And 100 years from now, we'll still breathe. Hell yeah. I get this thing off. Wow, exactly an hour. Brilliant. Whoa. If I just wait 9 more seconds, this video will be 101 long. 2